You stand at the precipice of a revelation that could shatter your understanding of reality. Have you ever experienced those eerie coincidences, where events align with such uncanny precision it feels less like chance and more like a hidden hand, guiding the narrative of your life? A fleeting thought of an old friend, perhaps someone you haven't spoken to in well over a decade, suddenly surfaces in your mind during a quiet moment of reflection, only for their unfamiliar number to buzz. Your phone moments later, a voice from the past asking, "Can you believe it? I was just thinking about you." Or perhaps you found yourself consumed by a complex problem, a professional dilemma that keeps you awake at night, feeling as though you've exhausted every logical avenue, only to experience a sudden, undeniable urge to visit a forgotten, quaint bookstore, a place you haven't frequented in years, drawn there by an inexplicable pull. And there, nestled serendipitously on a dusty, overlooked shelf, is precisely the book you needed. Its title leaping out at you, its pages offering an obscure, yet perfectly tailored, solution, addressing that very question that had plagued your mind for weeks, almost as if it had been placed there specifically for you. What if these aren't just random flukes, mere statistical anomalies in the grand tapestry of existence, but deliberate, profound whispers from the universe, subtle yet unmistakable signals in a language you've yet to fully decipher, a secret code embedded within the mundane fabric of daily life, inviting you to see beyond the obvious? What if your entire existence isn't a chaotic jumble of unrelated, meaningless incidents, a series of fortunate or unfortunate accidents, but an intricately woven tapestry of meaningful connections, each thread laid with an astonishing purpose, leading you precisely where you need to be for your growth, your healing, or your next breakthrough? Prepare to peel back the veil of everyday perception and step into the mesmerizing, often unsettling, world of Carl Jung, the visionary Swiss psychiatrist and the profound architect of analytical psychology, whose revolutionary concept of synchronicity will fundamentally force you to reevaluate everything you thought you knew about fate, about destiny, about chance, and indeed about the astonishing, intelligent forces hidden within the very fabric of your own life and the cosmos itself. This isn't just theory. It's an invitation to perceive reality with entirely new eyes, recognizing the silent symphony of meaning that plays out constantly, just beneath the surface of conscious awareness. Before we delve into this captivating enigma, before we unravel the intricate threads of this hidden universal language, I have a powerful, life-altering invitation for you. If this exploration of the mind's hidden depths, of the universe's secret communication, of the subtle dance between your inner world and outer reality, sparks a fire within you, igniting a hunger for deeper understanding and profound personal empowerment, then I urge you to journey further, to take the decisive step beyond mere curiosity. Click the link right now in the pinned comment below this video. There, and only there, you'll uncover an unparalleled treasure trove of exclusive resources, meticulously crafted exercises, and even deeper dives into these intricate psychological concepts. These aren't just abstract ideas. These are practical, transformative tools designed to help you not only comprehend these complex and often elusive principles of synchronicity, of archetypal activation, and of the unconscious mind, but to actively integrate them into your daily life. Imagine having the tangible resources to navigate life's intricate patterns with newfound clarity, to sharpen your intuition to an almost psychic degree, and to truly align with your authentic self, stepping into a destiny that feels not fated, but consciously chosen. These resources are your personal compass, your meticulously designed roadmap, guiding you to unlock a transformation that transcends mere intellectual understanding and impacts the very core of your being. From your relationships to your purpose, from your internal peace to your external success. This is your moment to move from passive observation to active participation in your own evolution, becoming a co-creator of your reality. For many years, perhaps for your entire life, you've been meticulously conditioned by a world that often values predictability and logic above all else, led to believe that life is primarily a series of isolated, disconnected occurrences, a grand game of chance where coincidence is nothing more than a random statistical anomaly devoid of any deeper meaning. We are taught to dismiss serendipitous encounters, those fortunate breaks that seem to appear out of nowhere, or moments of uncanny timing that feel too perfect to be random, as mere luck, or perhaps, at best, a trick of our perception, a cognitive bias designed by our brains to impose a comforting, yet ultimately false, order on a chaotic, indifferent world. But Carl Jung, a brilliant, audacious psychologist who dared to peer beyond the superficial, who spent a lifetime mapping the hidden, vast landscapes of the human psyche, proposed a radical, yet profoundly resonant, alternative, synchronicity. He defined it not in terms of traditional cause and effect relationships, where one event directly leads to another in a linear chain, but rather as a meaningful, distinctly non-causal connection between an inner, deeply personal, psychological state and an outer, objectively observable event. Imagine, for a moment, the exhilarating possibility that your thoughts, your deepest emotions, your most fervent desires, your quietest yearnings, your unconscious stirrings, those often unacknowledged currents beneath the surface of your awareness aren't confined to the solitary realm of your mind. Instead, what if they possess an unseen resonance, a subtle yet powerful vibrational frequency that can actually draw corresponding meaningful events into your physical reality, shaping the world around you in ways previously unimagined? It's as if the universe itself is an intelligent, responsive entity, constantly listening, actively responding, and meticulously orchestrating moments of profound personal significance tailored specifically for your unique journey, echoing your internal landscape back to you. This isn't magic in the superstitious sense, nor is it merely a belief system requiring blind faith. It is, for Jung, an observable phenomenon, a fundamental, verifiable principle of how the psyche and the objective world interact, a constant dialogue, especially when we are poised on the precipice of significant personal growth, when our inner being is crying out for evolution or insight. Consider a young research scientist. Let's call her Evelyn, a determined woman in her early 30s, who has dedicated nearly a decade of her life to a groundbreaking yet exceptionally challenging study on innovative sustainable energy solutions. She faces constant, demoralizing setbacks, unwavering skepticism from her peers, and the ever-present shadow of doubt. One crisp autumn morning, feeling particularly disheartened, on the verge of abandoning her ambitious project, she walks into a small, obscure antique shop she's never noticed before, drawn by an inexplicable impulse, a faint flicker of curiosity. Her gaze, almost involuntarily, falls upon an antique, tarnished brass compass, its needle spinning wildly, erratically, before finally settling with an almost deliberate precision on a peculiar, archaic symbol engraved on its worn base. Later, that very same day, purely out of a sense of professional obligation, she attends a sprawling, somewhat dull, academic conference she had initially intended to skip. There, amidst a sea of unfamiliar faces, she hears a renowned, eccentric, retired physicist, Professor Alistair Finch, speaking passionately about a long-forgotten principle in quantum mechanics. A principle that, in his estimation, could revolutionize our understanding of energy. As he speaks, he gestures towards a holographic slide, and there, projected for all to see, is the exact, peculiar symbol from the antique compass. That principle, she realizes with a jolt that electrifies her very core, when combined with a theoretical concept Evelyn has been meticulously developing, perfectly, undeniably solves the central dilemma of her decade-long research. Was this merely an improbable string of coincidences, or was it a profound, undeniable synchronicity, a majestic alignment between her intense inner struggle, the unique symbol that captivated her attention in a forgotten shop, and the external discovery that provided her breakthrough, speaking directly to her unconscious need for direction and validation? It's not about a simple cause and effect, where one event logically triggers another, but about the profound, undeniable meaning that inextricably ties these disparate, seemingly unrelated events together, revealing a hidden, compassionate intelligence at play, guiding us toward what we deeply need, often precisely when we need it most. When our conscious mind is exhausted and ready to surrender, Jung's first shocking discovery about synchronicity lies in its intimate, unbreakable connection to the archetypes. He proposed that deep within the vast, uncharted ocean of our collective unconscious, a reservoir of ancestral memory and experience shared by all humanity, there exist universal, primal patterns of thought, emotion, and imagery. He termed these powerful, fundamental structures the archetypes. Think of them not as static concepts, but as dynamic blueprints for recurrent human experiences and personalities. The hero, forever embarking on quests and facing trials. The wise elder, offering guidance and profound insight. The innocent, embodying purity and vulnerability. The shadow, representing all that we repress and deny within ourselves. The Great Mother, symbolizing nurturing and creation. The trickster, embodying chaos and transformation, and so forth. These aren't just abstract, intellectual ideas or mere literary tropes. They are powerful, emotionally charged, universal figures that profoundly influence our dreams, shape the narratives of ancient myths across cultures, and, crucially, exert a subtle yet undeniable influence over our waking lives, guiding our perceptions, attractions, and reactions. When one of these archetypes is intensely activated within your psyche, perhaps you're undergoing a period of profound personal transformation, feeling a deep internal compulsion to break free from old patterns and embody the rebirth archetype, experiencing a psychological death and renewal. Or perhaps you are finally confronting hidden, uncomfortable aspects of yourself, bringing forth the powerful, often feared shadow archetype into conscious awareness. The external world often begins to inexplicably mirror this intense internal process. It's as if the universe itself, recognizing the profound movement within your soul, aligns its events, its encounters, its challenges, and its opportunities to reflect and amplify your inner archetypal journey. For instance, if you find yourself grappling with a deep, pervasive sense of injustice, feeling compelled to stand up against a wrong, and actively working to right a systemic imbalance in your community, thereby activating the justice seeker archetype within your psyche, you might suddenly encounter an inexplicable influx of information about legal precedents that perfectly apply to your situation. Or you might cross paths with a seasoned, retired advocate who unexpectedly offers his guidance and mentorship, seemingly out of nowhere. Or you might even witness a symbolic event in the natural world, like a lone hawk capturing its prey, with swift, unerring precision that serves to powerfully reinforce your inner resolve and conviction. The world, in this Jungian view, isn't just a passive backdrop to your existence. It's an actively responsive entity, mirroring, reflecting, and amplifying your unconscious, archetypal movements. This is precisely why synchronistic events often feel so deeply personal and profoundly meaningful. They are speaking the ancient, forgotten language of your soul, drawing forth the external manifestations of your internal evolution, guiding you through life's inevitable passages. It's a conversation between your deeper self and the cosmos, and you are being invited to finally listen. The second profound truth about synchronicity, and perhaps the most unsettling for those who cling rigidly to a purely rational cause and effect worldview, is its inherent relationship to the dissolution of egocentric control. We spend the vast majority of our lives striving for control, meticulously planning every step, forecasting every possible outcome, attempting to manipulate circumstances and individuals to fit our preconceived notions of how things should be. We cling desperately to the illusion that our conscious will is the sole driver of our destiny. But synchronicity, by its very nature, operates outside the restrictive realm of linear causality, outside the confines of logical prediction, and, crucially, outside the desperate grasp of conscious effort. It emerges most powerfully, most vividly, not when we are forcefully trying to make things happen, when we are exerting maximum willpower, but paradoxically, when we are in a state of profound open receptivity, a kind of radical surrender to a deeper, more expansive intelligence, a letting go of the ego's need to dictate every outcome. Imagine a highly skilled artisan, perhaps in their late 50s, renowned for their meticulous planning, their unwavering adherence to precise schedules, and their rigid control over every detail of their craft. They operate with an almost iron grip on every project, firmly believing that success stems solely from rigorous self-discipline and an absolute mastery of external variables. Lately, however, they've hit a formidable creative block, feeling utterly stagnant, uninspired, and disconnected from the very joy that once defined their work. One evening, after abandoning their rigid schedule in a fit of frustration, letting go of their need to produce, they decide, on a whim, to wander aimlessly through a less frequented, forgotten part of the city, simply allowing themselves to be led by curiosity. They serendipitously stumble upon a vibrant, spontaneous street festival, something entirely unplanned, a colorful explosion of art and music. There, amidst the joyful chaos, a younger, exuberantly free-spirited artist, perhaps in their late 20s, who works primarily with discarded materials and improvisational techniques, sparks a conversation. The young artist shares not just their methods, but a profound philosophy of creative flow, of allowing inspiration to emerge rather than forcing it, of embracing imperfection and the unexpected. This unplanned, seemingly random encounter, sparked by a moment of surrendered control, could be a profound synchronistic event, directly challenging the artisan's deeply ingrained need for rigid control and opening them to a new, more fluid, and ultimately more liberating way of creating. The universe, in these moments, isn't always waiting for your conscious commands. Sometimes it's patiently waiting for you to simply get out of its own way, to release your death grip on what you think should happen, and to allow a deeper, wiser current to guide you, revealing pathways you never could have logically foreseen. When we bravely loosen our ego's anxious grip, when we cultivate a receptive awareness, we become infinitely more attuned to these subtle whispers, these meaningful coincidences, these divine nudges that lead us precisely where we need to go, often to places our conscious, rational minds never would have conceived, inviting us into a grander narrative. If this revelation about synchronicity and its profound implications for your life, for your understanding of your own journey, has resonated deeply with you, if it has sparked a sense of boundless wonder and an insatiable desire to understand the hidden architecture of your own existence, then I urge you, with every fiber of my being, to share this video. Share it widely with friends, with family, with colleagues, or with anyone whom you feel might genuinely benefit from these transformative insights, from this new lens on reality. Perhaps someone you know is currently feeling lost, adrift in a sea of confusion, believing their life is nothing more than a series of random misfortunes, a cruel twist of fate. This understanding, this profound Jungian perspective, could offer them a radically new lens through which to perceive their experiences, fostering a newfound sense of hope and empowering them to actively look for the hidden meaning, the subtle guidance in their own challenging journey. And if you feel called to support the ongoing creation of this kind of transformative content that bravely challenges conventional thinking, that fosters deeper self-understanding, and that ultimately contributes to a more conscious world, please consider contributing through the thanks button, thoughtfully located just below this video. Your generous support is not merely a transaction, it is invaluable, a direct investment in the continued exploration and dissemination of these vital psychological insights, allowing us to reach a wider audience, empowering more individuals like yourself to unlock their true potential and to live lives of deeper meaning. Are you prepared to acknowledge that your inner world actively, dynamically shapes your outer reality, that your thoughts and feelings possess a creative power far beyond what you've ever been taught? Share your stories, your personal anecdotes, your moments of uncanny alignment. For in the sharing of these unique experiences, we collectively deepen our understanding of this incredible, universal phenomenon, weaving a tapestry of shared insight. Your experiences are not just individual occurrences. They are invaluable pieces of a larger puzzle, enriching this conversation beyond measure and helping us all to see the threads that connect us. And before you navigate away, if you haven't already, please consider becoming a cherished member of our ever-growing community. Just hit that subscribe button. Join us on this continuous journey of discovery as we relentlessly continue to explore the depths of human potential, the intricate dance of the unconscious, and the profound mysteries of the universe, one liberating insight at a time. Your presence makes this space infinitely more vibrant, more meaningful, and more resonant. Thank you for being here, for your willingness to explore, and I genuinely look forward to connecting with you again in our next profound discussion, where we will delve even deeper into the secrets of the psyche and the cosmos.